Let's go.
Goeienaand, welkom by nog 'n keer hier op Tussen Dorings. Ons is so bevoorreg om week na week genade kans te hê om hier saam julle te kan kuier. Soos ek week wat sê, hierdie is nie 'n platform vir ons nie, maar 'n platform vir julle almal. En dan kuier ons saam met 'n dinamiese jong man. Ek sê nou vir hom, as ek so kyk na hom, dan sien ek die hande weer van die Here. Dis die laaste week van jeugmaand en dis 'n gepaste manier om hierdie maand af te sluit. Op by noot, gaan ons gewoon net gou vinnig weer eens baie dankie sê aan al daai begrafnisdienste wat week na week vir ons ondersteun as Tussen Dorings. Ja, soos ek laasweek gesê het, daai is 30 jaar oud hierdie jaar. Dis 'n milestone, dis 'n huge achievement. Vanaf ons by Tussen Dorings weer eens baie geluk aan daai vir hierdie groot milestone in julle besigheid se lewe. Daarna gaan ons gou vinnig die video speel van daai. Dan kyk ons gou weer vinnig verder.
Daai begrafnisdienste in die gemeenskap, uit die gemeenskap, vir die gemeenskap.
Hierdie naweek het die Here weer sterk bewys deur middel van sy genade wat hy aan ons gebied het om elke familie met die hoogste waarde en standaard te kon die diens behartig en ons elke familie kon 'n diens lewer van hoogstaande gehalte.
Daai begrafnisdienste. Skakel ons 24 uur 7 dae 'n week vir dienste van hoogstaande gehalte op 023 342 4850.
Dit en so. Vertel ons meer van julleself tussen Dorings.
Ja. Waar begin ons?
By die begin?
By die begin. Ek het nou, terwyl ons op pad was, het ek nog gedink daaraan, hoe stel ons vir onsself bekend? So jy genoem het, ek is Gordon, dit is Aaron, dit is my broer. Aaron Siswana, baie mense ken vir hom as gevolg van rugby. Vir my ken hulle miskien vir ander redes, en nie as rugby nie, in die rugbykringe nie. Maar ja, Tussen Dorings, ons het so 'n jaar terug begin met die program, of met die page, Tussen Dorings. Hy het eendag...
Ja nee, daai begrafnisdienste is daar om hierdie pad saam met jou familie te stap. Terwyl ek nou hier kyk na die video, waar ek en my broer die geleentheid gehad het om op Aardekole te wees en saam met die jeug te kuier en ook sy broer, Miller, besef ek weer eens dat die lewe is kort. Een oomblik gesels kuier saam met iemand en die net oomblik is hy nie meer daar nie. Jeug Swartsie, rest in peace. Hy was regtig 'n mens. Ek hoor hy laggie van jou. Ek hoor hoe jy vir Gordon reg help en sê, toe Gordon vra, waar begin ons? En jy sê, by die begin. En dit is wie jy was, man. Maar ja, hulle, die familie, die Aardekole family, alle sterkte aan julle. Ons, ja, dit is nie maklike en 'n lekker paddie. Ja, hier aan die onderkant is al daai begrafnisdienste se nommer. Hierdie mense regtig is mense wat die pad saam met julle sal kan stap, met julle en julle familie. En selfs whatever kyker vanaand iemand nodig het om hierdie pad saam met julle te stap. By nood, gaan ons gewoon weer verder kuier. En dan kuier ons met 'n jong man. Hierdie jong man, soos ek net nog gesê het, jy kan hy praat sê vir hom, as ek na hom kyk, kan ek letterlik sien die hand van die Here. Die Here is goed en regtig sy lewe is 'n testimonie. Hierdie jong man, en ek sê dit is 'n gepaste manier om jeugmaand mee af te sluit. Op aan nood gaan ons gou vinnig vir hom verwelkom op die tussendorings manier.
Die roos en die doring. Tussen dorings, tussen stryd, waar die wêreld stukkend blyk, staan daar tog 'n sagte blom, vol van hoop, vol van droom. Elke wond en elke letsel, en elke traan wat stilweg spikkel, vertel 'n storie diep en swaar, maar bring 'n lig, bring 'n gebaar. Die roos bloei, al is die nag lank, haar geur dra sag oor klip en rank, want tussen dorings, skerp en straf, bly liefde oor, bly lewe reg. So groei ons ook deur elke skeur, vind ons lig, al is dit te seer, want in die doringveld se kring, bly hoop 'n immerblomme sing.
Ja nee, terwyl ek luister na hierdie gedig was geskryf deur Auntie Sofia van sy is daar ver in die verre ooste, maar sy is actually van die Dorings en een oggend het sy hierdie gedig geskryf en gesê dit laat haar dink aan tussendorings. En dit is soos dit is, ons is net hier om hoop te gee en jou te laat besef dat ons almal het verskillende dorings op ons pad. Die Swarts familie in Ceres, daar is dorings vanaand welle. Dit maak seer. Leveldro soos hy hier sit, hy is deur dorings. Ons almal gaan een of ander tyd deur dorings. Maar dit daar gelaat, vanaand kuier ons hier saam met 'n jong man, 'n goeie naand. Leveldro, hoe gaan dit met jou? How are you doing, young sir?
Good evening, sir. Good evening. I am splendid. I am well. Thank you so much for having me here tonight. Thank you so much for granting me this opportunity and privilege to be able to share my story.
Yes. No, it's only a pleasure. And as I said, you must excuse me. I know you're gonna do it in English, but in between I'm gonna go English and Afrikaans. But say it may be, Leveldro, for the people that don't know who you are, just in a nutshell, wie is Leveldro?
Well, Leveldro is the son of Teresa Booysen and the son of Graham Bloomberg. Leveldro is a passionate young boy. He is eager, full of confidence, bold. And Leveldro is just a humble servant willing to help where he can. I'm from Cape Town and Overpop to be exact. I'll be 21 in September. And yeah, that's basically me, sir.
Yeah, Leveldro, any hobbies that you like to do? Soccer, rugby, running?
I've developed this passion for volleyball. Like I love volleyball like a lot. I love it. But anything to do with running, I'm there. You will see me on the pitch running because I do love running. I am an active person. I believe I can play any sport. I've got that much confidence in myself. So yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, I like it. You said you like running. As we're gonna go along, we're gonna share some information about our event, where we're gonna run. So we hope to see you there by that event. But Leveldro, just take us quickly through your primary school, in your high school. Just take us through your journey. I know you're still in high school, but take us through from primary school, the highs and the lows, and then we move to high school.
Also. So while I was in Cape Town, in being on Crystal House Primary School, I was a very active young boy. As I said, that I love volleyball a lot. Um, I was this young boy that always prayed for the matric students
Um,
on school.
can you maybe just speak a bit up if you don't mind?
Yeah, as I was saying that I was a young boy on Crystal House Primary School. I love praying for the matric learners that were writing the final exams. I became well known on primary school for my ability of running fast and just the volleyball that I played. Going into high school, grade 8 on Crystal House, I also achieved many awards. I took volleyball to the next level. I went to play in Durban and Joburg for volleyball. But my school life was very much perfect. It was beautiful, everything. But as soon as I left the school life and I went back home, everything changed. I felt alone. I didn't much have a mother that was there for me to guide me, to help me. I didn't have a father to pick the thorns out of my foot that I stepped into. Um, and yeah, I made it to Britain. As when I started to lash out, that's when everything went downhill. I gave up on my sports. I gave up. I gave hope up. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I started to look at the life of the streets. I then saw gangsterism and drug abuse as something cool. I thought, okay, no, I want to do this because this seems cool. Because everyone seems as one. In grade 11, which is in 2021, yeah, 2021, I decided to drop out of school. And at that time, I thought that's the best decision I could ever make. That's just basically a lie out of the pit of hell that the devil just told me that this is the best decision you can ever make in your life. And I left school, and that's when I decided to pursue a full-time job on the streets, whether it be robbing people, whether it be stealing, and stuff like that. And I was taught the tricks of how to move around on the streets. I was taught the tricks of how to break in by certain people's houses and how to pick locks and stuff like that. At that moment, I didn't see the I'm gonna say the trouble that I'm causing myself. I didn't see the beauty of not doing things like this. At the moment, I was just thinking, okay, no, I've got older brothers, I've got people that cares for me, I've got people that loves me, that wants to see me do something good. But yet again, it was a lie from the pit of hell. After I experienced a short mishap with a murder case where I was to be blamed, I was threatened, I was gonna say, yeah, I was threatened, and I was like put the target, as in I'm the one that is blamed for that. That's when I basically saw the beauty of having wrong friends, where there is no beauty because they are going to neglect you, they are going to leave you in the dust, they're going to leave you to stand for whatever you did. And at that moment, I was like, but I didn't do this. And that opened my eyes to want to change. And I started reaching out to my mother. My mother already had left to come to Worcester, and I started reaching out to her. And even though at that moment we did not have a relationship, she still found it in her heart to help me, which I believe is just a mother's true love. She then helped me get into Worcester, and I came to Changemakers. I did my 6 month program here. And they asked me at Changemakers, what is it that you want to do next? And I was like, I really want to finish school because I dropped out, and that's something that I haven't finished. I really want to finish school. They granted me the opportunity to finish school at Somerset High School, which I am very proud to be a learner.
Leveldro,
So,
Leveldro, just hold on quickly. Just hold on quickly. I just need to fix quickly something. Your let let's try to fix it. I don't know if the signal, is it the weather, is it the Wi-Fi, is it my side or your side? Because I really don't want people to miss out on anything what you just share with us. But yeah, let's try again quickly. It looks like it's stable now. Let's try again.
Yeah, as I was saying,
You can continue.
I came to Worcester. I was granted the opportunity to finish school at Somerset High School. And then, on Somerset High School, I started to grow as a learner. I was always that passionate learner that wants to lead people to do good and to just be themselves, because the person I was a very jolly person, a very hyperactive person, very active, and many people pushed me down, they manipulated me, they kind of put me in this box as to, you don't belong here, this is not for you, this place is not for you. Understand? So what I basically do in school, I push you to be who you want to be. Understand? And with that said, it came to matric year. I was nominated as head boy of the school. It was a huge surprise for me. It was massive. It was like, wow, here is something that I accomplished, and I didn't do it alone. God is in my story. God has been there with me, because along that road, there has been many thorns, there's been many, how can I say, there's been many troubles and challenges that I faced. Wow, trying to reach a certain position on school. I would say that I faced challenges that I didn't expect to face while being in Worcester. But no matter what I did, I still found it, and I still had to just go on my knees and just pray and pray and pray, and just ask God to intervene of what I'm going through, and just to grant me strength in this moment. So that's a bit of in a nutshell. So
Leveldro, quickly, I just wanna, you shared something. You said in Cape Town, there was a period where you just decided to, you just want to try some stuff, and you tried some stuff. You started to use drugs, to put it like that. How old were you first of all when you started with this?
sorry, sir, can you rephrase the question?
In 2021, when you started to use drugs and went off the spiral, how old were you?
I was only about 16. 16, sir. 16
You're
years
16.
old. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what went through your mind? What, for you that time? I mean, your story is really amazing. For you that time, what made you to make that decision as a 16-year-old?
I was at that moment that I'm gonna say that pushed me, and all those things is because the school I attended was not in my community. The school I attended was like a safe environment for me. But the moment I got back to my community, I had to be this different type of person, because in my community, it's you have to survive or you get eaten alive. So when I got back at home, I had to survive, and it started getting much for me, because I wanted my father to be present in my life, because I needed a leader in my life. I needed someone to guide me how to survive the streets, how to get out of these streets, and I did not have that. My mother was not always present. She was prison in, prison out, rehab in, rehab out. And I didn't also have that motherly love. So I kind of put myself in this box, whereas I'm like, okay, I have to stand for myself. I have to do things myself. And I have to gain knowledge on my own. And I figured that, okay, school won't give me the street knowledge that I need to survive. It's about time that I just leave school and go to the streets and learn what I need to learn to survive at home. So that's what just pushed me, sir. And yeah.
Wow. So basically you were 16, and what you're actually telling me, you were longing for a father figure who was not present. You were longing for your mother and your mother was in and out of prison, doing what she was doing then, and you went out to the streets and you were looking for a sense of belonging, and then you
Yes,
end
sir.
up on the streets. If I heard you correct, did you say you left home and you went? Did you go stay on the street, or did you stay with someone else?
At also like late in the year of 2021, I had like an outburst on my granny and my mother. My mother was still present in the house at that time, and my words to my granny was, "Okay, seeing that you're always complaining about how my mother's acting, why don't you put her out?" And then my granny's words to me was, "You are just as worse. Why don't you leave? And I think you should leave." And that's when I was put out of the house. And yeah, at that young age, I started being on the street. But it was only about for 2, 3 months. And then I was like, no, I can't. I went back home, but I went back home even a way more worse person, because once I was for those few months out on the streets, I learned things that I never knew I could do. And then I started to implement those things at home and things like that. So yeah, I started stealing at home, and yeah, that's so.
So now you 3 months on the street. Take
Yeah.
me through for a 16-year-old. Your first day, now you're on the street. You're staying on the street. You need to survive. What goes through your mind? And I mean, you're still a child, eh?
So
The environment, the people you were there. Just take me. I'm now picturing you, and I'm walking now down High Street, and I'm seeing the people on the street, and I'm seeing a young boy laying there, and I'm seeing you. So just take us through quickly there.
as a young student on the street, a 16-year-old, a lot went through my mind. When I say a lot, I mean, who can I trust at this moment? Because the people that I do trust are not around me. Who can I walk with? Where am I going to sleep tonight? Understand? Um, and then another thing that went through my mind was, whatever happens, I just have to, like, I always work to the night for me. And I always tell myself, like, whatever happens, ik ga het niet stick. Ik ga het niet stick. Ik ga het niet one. Ik ga het niet stick. So I always work to that thing with that thought in my mind that whatever happens, I'm just gonna stab you. If you try to hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you first. At that young age, there were some guys or some of my friends that felt sorry for me, I believe. And then they would say, come sit with us for a while, but they wouldn't provide that space or the room for me to sleep there at the houses. But yeah, but they would just talk sense into me and tell me, go home, the streets is not for you. You're going to get hurt outside. But I was stubborn, I was very stubborn. I did not adhere to what they were saying. But yeah.
You mentioned something about you were blamed for a murder and then open your eyes. Take us through that part. What happened? And yeah,
So what had basically happened was, one of our friends, yeah, he came over to me at one night. We then moved over into, we say a pillar post, into this pillar post, we took a smoke there. While we were sitting and smoking there, I had more other friends of mine that was also present in this house that we were in. Long story short, when the morning came at about 5 p.m., 5 a.m., sorry, to be exact, that's when we decided that we're all going to go on our own ways to go get money, which meant that we're all going to go on our own ways to go rob people. I decided to go with the other guy, Rais, and this guy that was still, he decided to go with another other friend of mine named Sliv. And then they went together. Not long after that, as we returning back to the pillar post, me and Rais, that's when Sliv comes down running the road with blood in his shoes, and he's like, we need a car, we need a car. Jody has been stabbed, he's going on the bridge. Me and Rais, not thinking twice or anything, we head straight for the bridge. We get to the bridge, and as we arrive on scene, like, I can't forget this image. It's really, as we arrive on scene, I look to the east and his tears are rolling, and not long after that, I feel my tears rolling, but we were running and we see Joey just laying in the road. Like, it's not of him to lay like that in the road. And we get there and we see that it's full of blood and he's got his hand in Amalai, and then there was the other guy that knew Jody, and he drove past in the taxi, and then he spread a rumor back where Jody lives at that he saw me there and that I'm the cause of it. That's how the whole thing came out with Jody's parents, and Jody's parents started to target me and they started threatening me, and yeah, it became a whole massacre. My own people, my own friends that I called my friends that time, they even told me that it's over for me. Like, it's either I'm gonna die here on the streets or you're gonna die in prison. It's over. The only way out is if you get away. That's the only way out. And I was really depressed at that moment, but I was also very much awake. Like, I was expectant of around every corner. Look, he's gonna come a guy with a gun and he's just gonna start shooting, or he's gonna come a guy with a knife from behind and just stab me in the back. I was expecting of that around each and every corner. There were times where I just wanted to be caught by the police for a weekend so that I can just be safe for the weekend. Just to go sleep in the silent just for the weekend so I can be safe. I got that bad, yeah. And that's it.
Yeah. I don't want to say it and then it sounds wrong. Your friend had to die for your life to change for the better. If I can put it that way. Because if he didn't die and they didn't say you killed him and you were not afraid of your life was in danger, you'd have might most probably still be doing the same thing. But that was like a wake-up call for you, if I can hear you correctly. And that was the turning point in your life, if I'm hear you correctly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I experienced too many things.
Yes, continue.
I experienced lots of things, but that experience of having to lose a friend in that way, because he was just with me a few minutes ago, and 10-20 minutes later, his body is lifeless. That really opened my eyes, and I was like, this is how fast this life can be. This is how quick I can lose my life. And he was only 22 years old, and that just, I want to say, it brought like a shake within me. And I was like, no, this is not for me anymore.
Wow, that is amazing. Leandro, what we're going to do quickly before we continue, let's quickly give you an opportunity to drink some water. Let's quickly pay the bills, and then we continue with our conversation. Ja, as baie belangrik om baie dankie weer eens te sê aan Kia Woester, de Villiers Motors, om John de Villiers en JP, dat hulle week na week vir ons vertrou om hulle produk week na week aan julle te wys. Ons speel gou vinnig die video en dan kyk ons verder.
Yes, champion. Who's there, my friend? Nee, lekker man. Kijk die champion man. Ik denk dat is tijd voor een upgrade. Ja man. Ik denk dat we morgen zo nog vanaf Kia Pero to hardknop. Champ, nee man. De Villiers Motors heeft al niet in stevig die bol. Kijk hier, oké man. Nou, hier bij de engine is hier goed zitten. Dan gaan we ons goed doen. Oké, nee champion, als je nou bij engine. Met die mail, daar met die mail. Oké, wacht maar daar. Ik nou mail.
Die nuwe Kia dealership is geleë by Mountain Mall, te Woester. En jy hoef nie meer hierdie dorp te ry om jou naaste Kia dealership te besoek nie. De Villiers Motors, bring Kia wat by jou voorstel.
Ja nee, kyk, de Villiers Motors, bring Kia tot by jou voorstoep. Hier baie dankie, as julle vir ons wil support, maak seker julle support de Villiers Motors. Gaan kyk daar wat hulle het, as jy ook jou voertuig wil diens, by Hyundai in Hoërstraat, die Bergswinkel sit daar. So ja, Lewando, as jy sit nou daar, and you shared your story with us. And are you still there, boy? Yes, you're there.
Yes, I'm still here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
You shared your story with us. And as I said, you were really gracefully broken. God really broke you, and for His glory, because your life, you have a powerful testimony. Now, if I can ask Ariel just to put the photo there of your before and your after. And then I want you just to have a look at the before. If Ariel can just quickly put it there. Just have a look at your before and then tell me, what do you see there? And what will you tell to that person standing there as you look at him now? The before.
If I look at the before right now, the before, that's a boy that is eager to want to change. I see a boy that wants to make something of his life, but what I can tell him is that you have struggled to get where you want to be. You have been through thorn bushes. You had to take thorns out of your foot on your own. But look at yourself now. That's what I would tell him.
Wow. Just look at yourself now. Now I'm going to ask Ariel to put on that photo there again. And then we look at the after photo. Then you quickly take us through, as you're going to speak to that person, before you talk to that person, you were saying, there's a transition where you now be a head boy at Somerset High School. I stopped you there. So take us further.
So yeah, once I became head boy of Somerset High School, that boosted my confidence of, okay, things are accomplishable. I can accomplish things through the strength and the help of the Lord. Nothing is impossible to achieve without God by your side. So once I became head boy, I was so, I wouldn't say dumbfounded, but it boosted my confidence a lot. It made me believe way more in God, because I never pictured in my right mind that someone comes from a Nova Park that slept outside on the streets, that was part of drugs, can become a hit boy. I never ever pictured that to happen. All I can say is it's just God. It's just God. That God is literally in my story, and He's the only one that made it possible for me. From here on forth, it's only pushing myself, building my relationship with God, and motivating whoever I can, and helping those whoever I can along my path and journey.
Wow. Your story and what you just now said takes me now back to this song. And I'm not going to sing it, I'm just going to bring it, I don't know, speak it, or whatever the case may be. Now that is what you are currently. You just said it. You didn't imagine that you on Houghton Park on the street for 3 months, trucks, running for your life. Yes, you said you were longing for a father figure. You're longing for your mother to be there. Look, you had all the reasons to blame your situation. But God had to create a storm in your life. God had to create a moment in your life for you to end up in Worcester by change makers. And through that program, today you are the head boy. Remember, not everybody, I wasn't a head boy at school. Not everybody can say I was a head boy at school. You are currently a head boy. And I want to say tonight to you, well done. And I want to say, keep on doing what you're doing. And never forget the why you changed. And then lastly, never forget where you came coming from. Because at the end of the day, that's gonna keep you grounded. And never ever forget to pray. Because the devil doesn't like good things. The devil doesn't like this version of you. I mean, he says in the Bible. He said in the Bible, you went to God and he said, Job is there. He wanted to go and attack Job, and God told him, you can go attack him, but just leave his soul.
Yeah.
You can do anything. So God will allow the devil to attack us. But we need to be praying and make sure that we are ready for the next storm. Because the devil is not going to leave you alone, young man. He's not going to leave you alone. But you need to keep on praying. That's all. But well done, man. I'm really, really proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
Now, where you are sitting now currently, your story already is an inspiration for me. And I think anyone that is listening to your story tonight, tomorrow, or whenever, this is an inspiration. But if you can, as you sit there, for someone that is on the path where you were, for someone that is on the streets where you were, for someone that is want to give up, man, is blaming, is in your situation. My mother this, my father this, I don't have that. That wants to blame his situation and really wants to give up. As a young man tonight, what is your word of encouragement for that person tonight?
For that young person that is still struggling, maybe with addiction, maybe with family issues, family matters, I would encourage you to seek the kingdom of God. Honestly, seek the kingdom of God. And for those that is struggling with addiction is very hard to get out of. And sobriety is a lifelong journey. Like, it's an everyday thing. You have to choose sobriety every day. It's not easy, but it is worth it. It really is worth it. For those that are still struggling, I ask of you just to think back of how you wish you could have been, to think back of your dreams that you had once had, to think back of the ambitions you had as before you started going into addiction, before your eyes was closed with the cloud of darkness. To find that motivation or the determination to want to change in your life. It doesn't always, something doesn't need to happen in your life for you to take off the pills from your eyes. You don't need to lose someone in your life for you to change. You don't need to get hurt before you need to change. It's just a matter of, okay, taking the decision and I'm going to run with the decision that I've made. I'm not going to give up and going to seek strength from the Lord, the Almighty God. There is a scripture in the Bible in Matthew 6 verse 83. It says that first seek the righteousness of God, and all other things will be added on. That scripture is carrying me today. So it is still pushing me each and every day to move forward and not to give up. There is no excuse for not wanting to change. There is no excuse. So, yeah, you have the freedom of the choice, but you don't have the freedom of consequences. So make good choices in life. And yeah.
Wow. Young man, how old are you? Currently.
I'm 20, so 2021 in September.
Yo, you are so much mature. Really. And yo, you can, as I said earlier, I can really see God in your story. That's all. Now, before we finish, who's your role model? Who's that person that inspired you to, yes, you said that incident happened, but someone, there must have been someone that inspired you or still inspires you to be better.
Honestly, sir, I wouldn't say there is a specific person because the mindset that I had at the time, I would, if I found interest in a type of person or gentleman, for that matter, like my volleyball coach, I found a huge interest in the way he carried himself, the way he walked, the way he talked, the way he handled women. Those certain aspects I loved, and I just took that aspects onto my own, and that's what I do with many other people that I meet. I don't have a specific role model, but there is different people that has unique attributes that I just admire, and I just strive to have those type of attributes so that I can be the best person for the people. So,
Yeah. Well, if I can ask you the following question, how is your relationship today with your mother?
at this moment, it's just wonderful. So, how do I put it? My mother is in my life. Firstly, she's in my life. It's just a blessing to have a mother. It's growing each and every day. Yes, there are now and then ups and downs, but even through those ups and downs, a mother's love never changes. She's still there since the first day I got here to Booster. And I think it's through her that I made it this far because she has not given up for me. She has not stopped praying for me. She has not let me out in the dust. She helped me, and she is still helping me through this.
Wow. What a journey, eh? From the beginning where we started and where we now. And your father?
My father, I had to bury last year, but I'm grateful for the Lord that He granted me the opportunity to go and ask Him for forgiveness for the troubles I caused Him, the pain that I caused, and I was able to ask Him for forgiveness. And yeah, 2 days later, He passed away. May His soul rest in peace. And yeah, so I've got peace in my heart, and I believe He does too.
Wow. Well, you have a beautiful story, young man. The sky is the limit. I quickly want to, before I greet you, Ariel, quickly just put this video up there with these 2 photos, and then we listen to what is coming out there, and then we finish up.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war, you could talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you go find yourself
Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Alvaro, please go and go move mountains. We want to wish you all the best from Dorings and keep on being an inspiration and keep on inspiring the youth. And don't stop being you. You have a powerful testimony and don't stop sharing it out there to the world. Thank you for sharing your story tonight. And yeah, God bless.
Thank you, sir. Hello.
Nah. Okay, we will remove you now. Don't go. We'll speak after the interview, okay? Ja, God is amazing, hè? Wat 'n way om jeugmaal te eindig. En dit is soos ons altyd sê, ons almal het verskillende dorings op ons pad. Dit hang net van jou af. Wat gaan jy maak wanneer jy daai dorings uit jou pad het gekry het, whatever hulle is. Want op die einde van die dag, ons almal kan oor begin. Hy jong man het 'n mindset gemaak en het oor begin. Terwyl jy kan asemhaal, terwyl jy elke oggend kan opstaan, terwyl jy elke dag jou huis kan verlaat, het jy nog 'n kans om oor te begin. Ek wil vir jou sê hierdie week, kom ons begin oor. Kom ons vat een page uit hierdie jong man se lewe uit. It's not over until God says it's over. Okay, op daai noot, ons het laat ek so klein bietjie gesê dat ons het 'n event wat een van die dae wat ons beplan. Ons wil gevindig vir julle 'n videoetjie speel rondom hierdie event en dan gaan ons gou vinnig net so 1 2 3 goedjies sê oor en dan groet ons. Ons speel gou vinnig 'n video en dan maak ons klaar.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home.
So ja, daar het julle dit. Die 24ste September 2025 gaan ons met Dorings gaan ons 'n fun run hê. We gaan 'n 5 km 'n fun/walk. So jy kan inskryf in jou familie daardie dag, dan kan jy die 5 km kom doen en draf of stap, doesn't matter. En dan gaan ons 'n 10 km ook hê. Jy kan 'n draf of stap, doesn't matter. Ons beplan ook om vir die eerste 100 mense wat klaar maak medaljes te gee. Ons gaan ook beplan ook om verskillende lucky draws te hê op hierdie dag. Maar meer van hierdie details gaan ons in die middel van Julie gaan ons dit uitsit op 'n poster en ons gaan hulle sê wat die inskrywe fee is. Kom join ons op daai dag. Dit is Heritage Month. Ons gaan prys het vir die best dress op hierdie dag. Jong, kom net en kom ons het net van op hierdie dag. Ons wil dit 'n instelling maak elke jaar die 24ste. So ja, ons is tussen Dorings is tussen hierdie jaar en dit is wat ons wil doen. So ja, kom ondersteun ons want ons wil letterlik ons iemand my vra, "Joh, dis 'n great initiatief, maar hierdie inisiatief is maar net om ons platform te verbeter. Ons wil kyk die ekonomie is baie baie daar buite. Dit is nie nice om by iemand se deur gaan klop en sê jy kort dit en dit nie. En dis hoekom ons wil liewer iets doen en ons program te verbeter en om vir julle beter produkte gee en ook op so 'n manier iemand anders te kan help. So ja, op daai noot, baie dankie weer eens vir inskakel. Ons sien mekaar weer volgende week, selfde tyd, selfde plek. Bye bye.